Welcome to the Papyrus Global Television National News Update. I am Christiana Babayo and here are today's headlines. 32 governors and over 8,000 delegates gather in Abuja for APC National Convention. CBN blacklists major loan defaulters to enforce banking discipline. NSCDC deploys drones and body cameras to strengthen operational oversight. Nigeria targets 100,000 barrels per day oil output increase to boost global supply. ASUU issues 4-day ultimatum to federal government over lecturer salary. Hunger crisis deepens in northern Nigeria as millions face food insecurity. Several feared killed after gunmen attack community in Jos North. Militants kill 10 security personnel and a civilian in ambush in Kebbi State. Tinubu tenure debate emerges after Oluwo of Iwo suggests possible constitutional amendment. FCT electricity consumers raise concern over unannounced tariff increases. And now the news in full. The ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) convened its highly anticipated national convention on Thursday, 26 March in Abuja, bringing together 32 governors, over 8,000 delegates and thousands of party officials from across Nigeria. The convention, held primarily at Eagle Square with supplementary events at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, was described by party insiders as a crucial milestone in consolidating the APC's political structure ahead of the 2027 general elections. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, alongside Vice President Kashim Shettima and several federal ministers, attended the opening ceremony. State governors present included Dapo Abiodun Ogun State, Ubasani Kaduna State, Abdurrahman Abdurazak Kwara State, Hope Uzodinma Imo State, and Ahmed Lawan Yobe State. Party leaders used the gathering to emphasize internal cohesion, highlighting the importance of zoning arrangements and equitable rotation of key positions. Analysts note that the event also provided an informal platform for presidential aspirants within the APC to showcase influence and mobilize grassroots support. The convention featured plenary sessions, workshops, and speeches focusing on economic development, security, youth empowerment, and digital governance initiatives. The Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) has taken a decisive step to enforce accountability in the banking sector by blacklisting major loan defaulters, a move aimed at curbing rising non-performing loans. Governor Olayemi Cardoso announced the measure on 27 March 2026, stating that it targets individuals and corporate entities with loans exceeding 5 billion that remain unpaid for more than 2 years. The blacklisting affects access to new credit facilities, bank guarantees, and other financial instruments. Ahmed Lawan Kuru, Managing Director of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria (AMCON), confirmed that several prominent business persons and companies in Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Kano are included. Analysts note that the move, while stringent, is intended to restore confidence in the banking system, attract foreign investment, and encourage disciplined lending practices. Critics argue it may temporarily constrain business expansion, but CBN officials emphasize long-term systemic stability. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) has expanded its operational oversight with a nationwide deployment of drones and body-worn cameras. Commandant General Ahmed Abubakar Audi announced the initiative on 28 March, stating that all operational zones, including Lagos, Port Harcourt, Kano, and Abuja, will now benefit from real-time aerial surveillance and frontline accountability measures. The drones are programmed to monitor high-risk locations, such as petroleum pipelines, power substations, industrial zones, and border areas prone to smuggling. Body cameras worn by officers are intended to enhance transparency and operation and provide documented evidence during interventions, including anti-cultism operations, electoral security enforcement, and disaster response. Security analysts describe this as a significant modernization of the paramilitary force, noting that consistent maintenance, operator training, and data privacy measures will be crucial for success. Nigeria has set a target to increase crude oil production by 100,000 barrels per day, aiming to strengthen its role in global energy supply. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) confirmed the strategy on 29 March, emphasizing improved operational efficiency, reactivation of dormant wells in the Niger Delta, and enhanced pipeline security to reduce oil theft. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Heineken Lokboburi highlighted the economic significance, stating that increased production could generate billions in foreign exchange revenue, stabilize domestic fuel supply, and support Nigeria's bid to expand its influence within OPEC. NNPCL Group CEO Mele Kyari noted ongoing collaborations with local communities to mitigate environmental impacts and address security concerns, particularly in high-risk regions such as Bayelsa, Delta, and Rivers State. Analysts predict that achieving this target will improve Nigeria's bargaining power in international energy markets while contributing to national GDP growth. The Academic Staff Union of Universities (ASUU) has issued a 4-day ultimatum to the federal government over the immediate implementation of a revised salary structure for university lecturers. ASUU President Emmanuel Osodeke stated the deadline during a press briefing in Abuja on March 27, 2026, warning that failure to comply could trigger nationwide industrial action affecting all federal universities. The union's demands include the full payment of the 2026 academic salary structure, allowances, and a review of accrued arrears. Minister of Education Malam Adamu acknowledged the union's concerns, citing budgetary constraints, but pledged to engage in dialogue to prevent academic disruptions. Analysts cautioned that prolonged strike could affect over 2 million students, delay graduation timelines, and disrupt national examinations. ASUU has called on parents, students, and civil society to support its advocacy for fair compensation, highlighting the critical role of educators in nation building. We will now take a short break and the news will continue when we come back.
Paglogma 2026. The Papyrus Global launches new series starting Tuesday, 3rd March 2026. The conversation starts now across Africa. Our languages may differ, our borders may separate us, but our struggles bear semblance. Communities seeking opportunities, youth demanding inclusion, citizens calling for transparency. These are realities that unite us. Africa is united by a common challenge and a common responsibility, building resilient, inclusive, and sustainable communities. To set this conversation in motion, the Papyrus Global is launching the pre-conference live series, Governance That Touches Lives. Let's start where it matters the most.
Welcome back, and now the news will continue. Northern Nigeria faces a worsening hunger crisis as millions of residents in states including Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, and Sokoto confront acute food insecurity. Reports from the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs on March 28 indicate that more than 33 million Nigerians could experience severe food shortages during the 2026 lean season, exacerbated by displacement from ongoing conflicts and climate-related crop failures. Minister Dr. Nentawe Ilwata confirmed that federal interventions, including targeted food distributions and nutritional support programs, are being scaled up. UNICEF representative Christian Munduate warned that child malnutrition rates could spike unless emergency measures are fully implemented. Local NGOs and international organizations are coordinating with government agencies to provide emergency relief, water sanitation, and cash transfers. But challenges such as logistics, insecurity, and limited infrastructure remain significant obstacles. Several residents were feared killed following a violent attack by suspected gunmen in Jos North, Plateau State on March 29, 2026. The assailants reportedly opened fire on multiple homes in the early morning hours, setting structures ablaze and forcing residents to flee into surrounding forests. Witnesses estimated that at least 15 civilians were injured, though exact casualties remain unconfirmed. Governor Caleb Mutfwang condemned the attack, calling for immediate security reinforcement and coordinated community policing. The Plateau State Police Command confirmed ongoing investigations and deployment of rapid response teams to affected areas. Humanitarian groups are providing temporary shelters, food, and medical support for displaced families. Analysts warn that recurring attacks in Plateau State could further destabilize the region, heighten ethnic tensions, and strain security resources. At least 10 security personnel and one civilian were killed in an ambush by suspected armed militants along a rural highway in Kebbi State on March 28. The attackers reportedly blocked the convoy of Nigerian army and police operatives, opening fire and using improvised explosive devices to immobilize vehicles. Governor Nasir Idris condemned the attack and called for stronger coordination between local vigilante groups, federal security agencies, and community leaders. Military spokesperson Brigadier General Victor Izugu confirmed ongoing operations to track and neutralize the assailants, emphasizing that intelligence-led missions are being intensified to prevent further attacks. Analysts note that such incidents highlight persistent security vulnerabilities in border and rural areas, complicating federal anti-terror and anti-banditry strategies. A political debate has emerged following comments by the Oluwo of Iwo, Oba Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi, who suggested that Nigerians may consider amending the constitution to allow President Bola Tinubu to serve beyond 2 terms. The statement made on March 28 during a public forum in Osun State has provoked reactions from opposition parties, civil society organizations, and citizens, many of whom described the suggestion as controversial. Political analysts warn that such statements could influence party dynamics, affect voter sentiment, and shape discussions about constitutional reform ahead of the 2027 elections. Opposition leaders, including Peter Obi of the Labour Party and Atiku Abubakar of the PDP, have condemned the remarks, emphasizing adherence to constitutional limits. Meanwhile, supporters argue that discussions about extending tenure reflect evolving governance realities and long-term national interests. Electricity consumers in the Federal Capital Territory have raised concerns over unexplained tariff increases on prepaid meters, reporting significant reductions in unit allocations for identical recharge amounts. Residents in areas such as Kubwa, Lugbe, Garki, and Wuse claim that recharges purchased on March 28 to 29, 2026 yielded up to 20% fewer units than previously. The acting chairman of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NERC), Musiliu Oseni, confirmed that no official tariff revisions had been approved. The Abuja Electricity Distribution Company acknowledged operational challenges, including energy losses and meter errors, but assured consumers that technical audits are underway. Consumer advocacy groups are calling for transparency, standardized billing practices, and improved public communication to prevent widespread dissatisfaction and potential unrest. We have reached the end of today's national news segment. Here is a recap of the headlines. 32 governors and over 8,000 delegates gather in Abuja for APC National Convention. CBN blacklists major loan defaulters to enforce banking discipline. NSCDC deploys drones and body cameras to strengthen operational oversight. Nigeria targets 100,000 barrels per day oil output increase to boost global supply. ASUU issues 4-day ultimatum to federal government over lecturer salary. Hunger crisis deepens in northern Nigeria as millions face food insecurity. Several feared killed after gunmen attack community in Jos North. Militants killed 10 security personnel and a civilian in ambush in Kebbi State. Tinubu tenure debate emerges after Oluwo of Iwo suggests possible constitutional amendment. FCT electricity consumers raise concern over unannounced tariff increases. For continuous updates, expert analysis, and live coverage, stay connected with the Papyrus Global Television. Visit papyrusdaily.com for breaking news and detailed reports. I am your host, Christiana Babayo. Thank you for joining us. Stay safe and informed.